Hello, giant priceless ruby enjoyers, and welcome to the final installment of Kaiju Noir. I was originally going to split this video into two separate parts, but the only place to realistically do that would leave things off at a really mean cliffhanger, so I'm just going to do it all in one go. So this is probably going to be the longest video in this particular series, not like Echo long. Glances nervously at the playlist on the channel. But, maybe grab a snack or settle in. Anyway, let's rob a museum. In Chapter 11. The hulking outline of the museum's dome stretches far above you like the back of a sleeping beast. From this side, away from the light of the city, only a few glimpses of light from high windows hint at anything more than lifeless rock. Ah, my old slithering ground. It has been far too long since I visited the museum. Although I must say I'm rather more accustomed to bringing things to it than taking them away. Ever thought of going into business giving the artifacts back to their original owners? I've learned there's no money in doing the right thing, young monster. Maybe not, but sometimes doing the right thing is enough. Spoken like someone destined to be poor forever. None of this heist goes well. Sorry to interrupt, but are we going to rob this place or stand outside chatting all night? The lady has a point. We should get inside so as to not arouse suspicion. Against the near sheer cliff edge of the museum, the outline of a doorway can just be made out. There's no handle or lock. How do we get in? Ah, well, there's a bit of a trick to that. Excuse me. Xander slides a tentacle around the edge of the doorway until it slips into a crevice hidden in shadow. I've no reason to believe Onikogo has updated security in this part of the building. She's not the type to believe someone like me could be a threat. Does she think of anyone as a threat? No one she hasn't already killed, no. The length of the tentacle tenses, and you hear a slow grinding noise from behind the door. After a tense moment, the tentacle slithers back. The door swings open with a low creak. If I ever lose my office keys, I'm calling you. Detective, you couldn't afford my call-out rate, I promise you. Stay safe in there, you three. We've seen what Onikogo is capable of. I don't want to be taking this boat home alone. We'll do our best, Alex. Whatever happens in there, I just want to say, now you stop right there, Kari. You're coming out of there alive and in as many pieces as you went in. Max, make sure they come out of there and I'll take back every mean thing I've said about you. That's a deal. Detective, Miss Maxera, let us go get ourselves a priceless artifact. Working through the labyrinthine hallways beneath the museum takes longer than you'd hoped. Xander frequently pauses to slither over to objects piled around halls and storerooms you pass through. Sculptures, vases, vases even, bones of kaiju long since extinct. None of them are the idol you seek, but Xander is enamored by each and every one. Looking for something specific? Just revisiting a few memories, Detective. Much of my youth was spent as a collector of these objects. How did the original owners feel about parting with them? Usually, reluctant and often angry. I've done many terrible things, Detective, but a job is a job. I found a lot of satisfaction collecting all these trinkets and treasures. I like to think that made me part of something bigger. No comment. Scoff all you want, but these items have much to teach us. Even locked down here in the basement where no one will ever see them? You may have a point, Miss Maxera. Where the hell is the rock, Xander? We don't have all night. I kind of like it down here. It's quiet and full of shiny things. Can we take some souvenirs? No souvenirs. We're only here to take back the idol. We aren't thieves. Or I'm not, at least. If you want a souvenir, you can come back tomorrow and go to the gift shop. I hear they have nice coffee mugs. The vault should be just down this hall. It's where Onikogo stores all of her most treasured possessions that she can't keep on display. Because Kaiju would know they're stolen? Oh, most certainly. She loves the idea of having society unknowingly treading the halls above her ill-gotten hoard.
We'd best be careful then. Hordes usually come topped with dragons.
Onikogo isn't a dragon, Miss Maxera. Dragons have tact, grace, and mercy. Onikogo has none of these and knows only how to take. That makes her far scarier. So I'm guessing we won't be leaving behind a bouquet of flowers and a small box of chocolates for her when we leave. Not unless I knew it'd rid her from this world to do so, Detective.
My, Xander. Are those teeth you've finally grown? I'm impressed.
Quieten down, you two. We're trying not to get caught robbing a museum. Beeg. You arrive at another door, this one far more imposing than the covert one with which you enter the museum, built around the jaws of some mega kaiju. It's big, forbidding, practically shouts its intentions to remain closed.
This is a big door.
A very big door.
I've never seen a door this big before.
Young kaiju, so easily entertained. It's just a door like any other. It would take a mega kaiju to pull that thing open.
Do you know any?
Well, the last of them died off during the wars, so I'd say no.
It's a big door.
Xander, how do we get through? Onikogo failed to secure the rear entrance, so with luck I still know the combination to open the vault. They reach out a pair of thick tentacles and wrap them around the circular stone of the lock. Grunting between their rows of teeth, the lock turns slowly one way, then the other, and back again. The silence in the halls is enough that you can just about hear the dust move. She changed the combination, didn't she? She changed the combination. Fuck. Of course she changed it. It's been how many years since you've been down here? We should have guessed.
So what are we going to do? Even with the three of us, I don't fancy our chances trying to tear the door off.
Not unless you have some power to shake apart densely compacted igneous rock. Does anyone have that ability? The kaiju that made the door, no doubt. I can't say it's as common a gift as some. Fire breathing, for instance. Gee, thanks for making me feel special.
So what do we do now? This doesn't seem like a situation where asking nicely is likely to work.
Okay, everyone. See if they wrote down the code on something in here. We might get lucky. Xander and Max stare at you in disbelief.
You honestly think someone would just leave the combination to the most secure vault in the city, just laying around next to the door?
Miss Maxera is right, Detective. Only Onikogo would have that combination, and she isn't the type to carve it into the bottom of a vase somewhere. Or a vase. It was just a suggestion, okay? I've never done this before. You begin running your claws around the sides of the door, looking for any kind of mechanism that might bypass the code wheel. Nice try, Detective, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. Fuck. I'm running out of tropes to fall back on here. Never as easy as they make it out in the pictures, is it? It's too late to just leave and forget this whole thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Damn. Fine. We're monsters. Let's act like it. Hell yeah. Xander, think if we work together we can get into the vault another way? What do you mean, Detective? It's a vault. The idea is to keep things locked away. There's only one way in. There's only one door. But these walls don't look quite as solid. Big scary door wants to stay closed, so how about we make our own?
How do you plan to do that?
You look around the hallway, and your eyes land on a granite statue of a militaristic kaiju that is suitably spiky. This should do nicely. Xander, lend me a tentacle. Xander slithers over, and the pair of you heave the statue up and angle it towards an empty patch of wall to the side of the vault door. I don't know if you've thought this through, Detective, but I like your sense of style. I just want to crack this vault open. I'm dying to know what a real horde looks like. Ready? Swing! Using the statue as a battering ram, You pound the wall over and over again. It's a tense moment where you wonder what will give out first, the statue or the wall. Just as it feels like the statue is about to crumble, the wall cracks and the spikes pierce through.
Not very subtle, Kari. I'm sure the whole city heard us.
If they aren't on us already, we've still got time to get the idol. Xander, can you, with the tentacle? My pleasure. I'm sure it is. Xander once again slips a tentacle through the crack in the wall. You can hear it thud around on the other side for a few moments, before the vault door makes a clunk sound. Detective, Miss Maxera, if you do the honors. The inside of the vault is magnificent, but strangely fuzzy. Rows upon rows of crates, statues, and display stands reach back to the distant walls. You've never seen a hoard before, but you never expected it to be so well organized. Don't get awestruck, said the pot to the kettle. We must collect the idol and depart before any guards arrive.
How are we going to find it in here? This place is cavernous.
Simple. A megalomaniac like Onikogo would want it to have pride of place, so it will be right in the middle of the hoard where she can admire it. The three of you move deeper into the vault. You can't help but marvel at some of the things you're seeing. Fortunes upon fortunes of artifacts hidden away. You find your fingers gently tracing over objects as you slowly make your way down the aisle. Ancient carvings depicting historic battles between kaiju, slabs of opalescent rock formed into skulls, crates of giant teeth. Gross. Just seeing it all locked up, hidden away from the rest of your kind, it hurts. No one should ever hoard this much history. It's not right. Well, maybe tomorrow you can come back and liberate some more of it, Detective. That could even direct you to a few notable pieces. Tonight, we have a far more specific task to complete. As you approach the center of the vault, you can feel something in the air change. A new sensation that you can't quite place. A presence? A weight in the world? Whatever it is, the air suddenly feels hot in this chilly vault. On an obsidian plinth rests a statue of deepest crimson, a ruby that almost comes up to your waist. The crimson old one. In the stone. I never believed I would ever get to see it in my lifetime. It's bigger than I imagined, and even more beautiful.
I want one. Can I have one?
Perhaps in another life, Miss Maxera. For now, we must grab this jewel and make our escape. I'll carry it. Xander, lead the way out of here. This museum is confusing, and you know the layout better. Of course, Detective. You scoop the idol up. It's heavier than you expected. It also feels right? You feel like things are more real when it's in your arms. Like it will be difficult to put down again. Let's get out of here. Arriving back at the vault door is a Damn it, let me try that again. There's a word missing in this sentence. Arriving back at the vault door, a monolithic figure is waiting for you. Her outstretched wings brushing the frame of the massive doorway. Xander, you old trilobite. What a coincidence seeing you here. Onikogo, you're looking as destructive as ever. We were just leaving. Oh, I insist you stay, Xander. You're all going to stay. We have such a lot to talk about. In Chapter 12. I should have known I'd find you slithering around in my basement, Xander. You always were a snake. And here I was, thinking that's what you liked about me, Onikogo. You never seemed hesitant to make use of my slithering when it came to piling your hoard to the rafters.
And Detective. Quite the resilient one, aren't you?
After our last encounter, I expected never to see your face again. You should hire smarter goons. The ones you sent didn't look where they were going and ended up in the morgue.
They are easily replaced. And now you've broken into my museum.
The door was unlocked.
Smashed your way into my most secure vault.
It was like this when we got here.
And attempting to abscond with the prized jewel of my collection.
This? I picked this up at the gift shop.
The gift shop has been closed for renovations for weeks. Aw, I wanted to get a souvenir. Who are you, little bat? I don't believe we've met before. I tagged along for the Babylonian pottery exhibit. That exhibit ended last month. I'm afraid you're too late. Aw, shucks. And I was looking forward to seeing all those pots. And what role do you play in this charade, my dear? Not your dear. I'm the sucker who brought this idol into the city. Then you had my courier killed. Oh, them. Such a little thing. They hardly mattered at all.
As cold-blooded as ever, Onikogo.
Guilty as charged. Life is cheap. Only jewels have real value.
I'm glad I left you before your filth corrupted me to the bone. Your kind should have gone extinct centuries ago. You stole the Crimson Old One, just like you stole everything else in this room. We've come to take it back.
Is that so, Xander? Is this your noble redemption story? One good deed to balance out all the terrible things you did to steal these objects for me. And you plan to just walk out of this vault, holding the most valuable artifact this city has ever known? You think I should hold the door, hand you a gift bag, and wave you into the distance with a jewel that has been fought over for millennia?
Actually, yes, if you wouldn't mind.
What's in the gift bag? The Crimson Old One will stay in my vault, and I'm going to tear each of you apart, piece by piece.
What, and get your claws dirty? I didn't think you had it in you.
You'd be surprised what I'm prepared to do to protect what's mine, you snake.
It was never yours to begin with, Onikogo. These things do not belong in a museum, especially not yours.
This is the moment your story ends, Detective. You should have chosen better friends. Perhaps in your next life you won't be so foolish.
At the crescendo of your story, only one option remains.
Dun 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 dun.
I've been waiting for this moment for the last 300 years, you old demon. Xander coils up on their tentacles and springs forward at Onikogo, who attempts to swat them away with a massive arm. Writhing tentacles wrap themselves around your arm as Xander swings around to tear at Onikogo with their teeth. Max, take the idol. Keep it safe. Get yourself out of here. She isn't going to stop till she gets that thing back.
Got it. Please don't die, Kari.
I won't. Alex will be pissed at me. Max takes the ruby from your arms and dashes from the vault, ducking behind the struggling monsters at the door. You dash around Onikogo, avoiding her swinging claws and Xander's tentacles, which are doing little more than distracting her. From your gut, you feel the fire build up, no longer smoldering. It burns and twists inside, alive and angry, begging to escape. Xander, watch out! Things are about to get a little hot in here. Fight scene! Breathing deep, you channel the fire into a lance that cuts deep into the crevice between Onikogo's wings. She screams, helpless to prevent it as Xander's tentacles coil tighter. She swings around to face you, shoulders on fire with an angry Xander attempting to tear her face off with their teeth. Little pest. Firebug! How dare you bring your nasty flames into my home? It would be a shame if everything here were to burn, Onikogo. So many pretty things. I wonder how many are flammable. You fire off another blast that smashes a vase behind her. Stop that, worthless creature. Show some respect. Or what? You're going to give me a spanking? At least let me earn it properly. You leap past her swinging claws and drive your shoulder into a stone statue. shattering into fragments and reigniting the pain in your back. 2 down, a few hundred to go. Ready to stop this, Onikogo? I can go on breaking things all night long. I'll stop when I have you two in pieces so small they won't be able to get all of you out of the lake. Or maybe I'll just have to eat you. It's been too long since my last meal. Your screams will make your flesh all the sweeter. Onikogo grabs Xander by the torso and tears them off her arm with a sickening rip. A couple of tentacles remain feebly stuck to her arm as the rest of them crashes into the shelves. Xander! Focusing on the burning inside, you strain and unleash the largest gout of flame ever coaxed from your body. It torrents towards Onikogo, a spear of blue fire that crackles the air around it as it travels across the room, and ricochets off Onikogo's wings as she shields herself from the blast. The flame rebounds out through the vault door and into the hallways beyond. Firebug, firebug, lend me your ear. She stands before you, impossibly tall, each menacingly clawed hand an ending that you always knew was coming. Firebug, firebug, nothing left for you here. With incredible speed for someone so big, she grabs you by the throat and lifts you high in the air. You've burnt down the village. All life now is gone. Her other hand grips your injured shoulder, talons sinking into your scales. And when you are dead, no one left who will mourn. The fall awaits you in her gaping maw as she prepares to bite. She stops, frozen, paralyzed. Kari! Looking past Onikogo's bulk, you see Max, terrified, her horn glowing, freezing Onikogo to the spot. Max! I didn't know you could do that. I can't hold her for long. Get away from her. I can't. She's literally got her claws in me. Maybe I can assist. Xander's remaining tentacles grip Onikogo around the biceps from behind and wrench them back. You drop to the floor hard. You've had your teeth in me for far too long, Onikogo. I believe it's time for me to return the favor. With grim purpose, Xander grabs Onikogo by the horns, pulls her head to the side, and sinks crocodile teeth deep into her neck, tearing flesh and muscle aside with bloody ease. Detective, if you could escort the young lady out of here with the idol, Onikogo and I have much catching up to do. Pulling yourself to your feet, you grab Max by the arm, and run from the smoke and blood-filled vault into a smoke and fire-filled hallway. The crates and more flammable artifacts are all ablaze, filling the room with the acrid smoke of burning history. You set the place on fire? No, you did! I was trying to hide behind some crates and a fireball burst from the vault and everything was suddenly burning! Oh, fuck, that wasn't supposed to happen. Max starts coughing and trying to cover her face with a wing. Can we get out of here, Kari? I don't like fire. Sure. Xander is busy finishing off Onikogo, so let's grab the idol and get the hell out of here. Where's the idol? That's something I wanted to tell you. What? That little fireball? It kind of hit where I hid the idol. It's in the middle of the fire. Do rubies melt? Fuck. Time to find out. Striding into the fire, it takes a few moments to find the statue. Finding a red rock in the middle of a furnace turns out not to be easy. Your foot clips the side of something you couldn't see, and now only notice from the way the flames reflect off the surfaces. I got it! Clutching the statue, you clamber back out of the fire, embers clinging to your scales, letting Max lead you back through the hallways. Do you think Xander will be okay? I think once they finish their little chat with Onikogo, they'll be fine. There was a lot of fire, Kari. I guess the gift shop is probably going to be closed for a while then. Sorry, Max. I know you wanted something to remember this by. That's alright, Kari. I think we got a pretty nice souvenir right here. You and Max stumble out of the rear exit. The cool air from the city hits you like a hammer after the heat of the museum. Hold ones, it feels nice to be out of that basement. I thought I was about to suffocate in that last hallway. I kind of liked it, but I was hatched in a volcano. You're back! What happened? Why is the museum on fire? Kari, you did this, didn't you? It was self-defense! The museum attacked me. I was just minding my own business. A likely story. What happened to Xander? Xander is in there finishing a conversation with Onikogo. Those two had a lot to talk about, it seems. Onikogo was here? So much for a smooth operation. I'm just glad you're both safe.
Not only safe, we got ourselves a souvenir.
You hold up the statue for Alex to see. Behold, the Crimson Old One. Relic of ages past, symbol of long-dead aristocracy, giant fucking ruby of unimaginable value. Did it always have a great big crack in it? What? It's got a big crack running down the side. Didn't you notice that when you grabbed it? We were in a rush. Onikogo just got the jump on us.
It wasn't there before, Kari. Do you think...
Fuck! The fire. I didn't know. Do you think that's gonna knock something off the resale value? Xander slithers slowly through the open door, their scales smoking and ichor dripping from the stumps of their torn-off tentacles. They collapse against the side of the boat and look up at the three of you. Good to see you two made it out alive. That was quite the adventure, I must say.
Is Onikogo...
Dead, my dear. As dead as the dinosaurs. I must say I didn't do too bad for an old fossil.
You did great. It's good to see you again. I'm sorry about your tentacles.
These things, they will grow back in time. This isn't the first time I've left part of myself behind at the end of an adventure. Plenty of adventure left in you, that's for sure. They laugh and spit out blood. Theirs are Onikogo's you don't want to know. Maybe so, probably not. I don't heal up like I used to. Going to take a few decades to start growing these back. I have to ask Alex where he gets his canes.
I'll give you their address. See if they can give you a discount.
I don't think we'll ever be needing a discount ever again, dear Alex. Not with our shiny stone here to make our fortunes.
Oh yeah, the idol.
There's something we need to tell you about the idol. You won't be happy. What's wrong with the statue? It got broken in the fight. Either the fire or something else. You show Xander where the idol is starting to crack. I'm sorry. You've spent so much of your life trying to track this thing down, and now it's broken. They sit up, as if suddenly unaware of their injuries. No, this cannot be. This is the Crimson Old One. Older than the city, nearly as old as our kind. It's been through wars, devastation, the extinction of the old ones. It cannot just break. I refuse to believe it. Do you think it might be a fake? Something Onikogo brought in to lure you into a fight?
Or maybe my kaiju didn't grab the real one after all. Or track down a copy?
Be gentle with it, I think it's cracking more. Xander leans in and gently strokes the ruby's surface, tapping it with a claw and listening closely. No, this is the genuine article, all right. Pure ruby, ancient as time. Then what's happening? Surely you shouldn't be breaking up like this.
If no one wants it, I'll still take it. It's shiny, and I don't mind if it's a little broken.
There is something here we must be missing, Miss Maxera. Some small detail I can't put my claw on. Stories of this jewel are ancient as this cavern itself. Mistranslation, miscommunication, misdirection. These are all potential problems with prophecy. Then what the hell is going on?
Can we glue it back together? Will anyone notice? Or maybe it's easier to sell in pieces.
I think I know what's happening. The three of you turn to Alex. What is it then? Yeah, Alex, don't keep it to yourself.
I can't be sure, although I am thirsty.
Haven't recorded one of these in a while, sorry about that. But I think that priceless treasure you have there is about to hatch. Resting the idol gently on the tip of the stone jetty, the four of you huddle as best you can around the cracking crystal. Hatching? What are you talking about, Alex? Rubies don't hatch. They do if they aren't just rubies. I believe your assistant is correct. The old ones protected the stone up until the end. They knew it had worth.
Worth more than a giant, one-of-a-kind ruby?
Think about it, Miss Maxera. What worth is there in shiny pebbles to a creature of such great size and power that it shapes the world around it? They had no money, no banks, no barter, only survival. So the story about possessing the stone to reign until the end of days? A mistranslation, obviously. A stone of blood shall hold the key to our survival.
They weren't talking about some status symbol. They were talking about survival of the species.
The last egg of the elder kaiju. An old one, unborn. Unborn until now, Detective. It looks like you're about to become a brood parent.
Congratulations, Kari. We're going to have to hatchling-proof your office.
What? I can't raise an old one. I wouldn't know what to feed it.
If the stories are true, they eat pretty much everything. Up to and including cities. Let me know if you need a babysitter.
This thing is tens of thousands of years old. Years old, even. How had it never hatched until now? I would assume that it's never been subjected to the kind of intense heat of your impressively hot exhalation. What?
Your breath, Kari. The egg got hot enough that it finally started to hatch.
Which would lead me to believe that this old one hatchling is a creature of the flame. Suitable considering the egg, I must say. So, what do I do? I don't know how to be a brood parent.
Be there for them? That's the best advice I can give you.
I can do that. I hope.
Aw, look at him.
With a soft cracking sound, the idol slowly breaks apart before your eyes. A grasping limb reaches out from the lower half of what is now obviously shell, and a hatchling head pokes up over the edge to look you in the eyes. For a hatchling, it's large, with limbs already oversized for the body, ready to be grown into. In that moment, you know, deep in your gut, that you would never let anything happen to this kid.
I think they like you, Kari.
Reaching a paw towards the hatchling gently, it reaches back and grabs you firmly by the finger. Check out these paws. This kid has a strong grip. Alex squats down next to the newborn, who looks up at the pair of you sleepily.
They're so big already, for a hatchling. We're definitely going to need some advice on how to raise an old one. I don't think they write guidebooks for this kind of thing.
The hatchling's eyes cross for a moment, then it hiccups loudly, and a wisp of smoke rises from their nostrils. The fire breather indeed, and they've chosen you as their brood parents. I wish you both luck. This may be your most harrowing adventure yet. I'm sorry about the idol, Xander. You spent so much of your life chasing it, giving up so much. And now it's gone. Xander laughs painfully, their strength slowly returning. Oh, Detective, this is far greater a prize than some lump of rock. I have been present at the birth of an old one, something no one may ever again be able to say, aside from those of us here. They pick up a large fragment of egg, the ruby shell seeming solidified again after the hatching. I have my prize, and a story to go with it. Take a piece of the shell, each of you. That is your payment for this endeavor. Max's eyes glitter at the scattered rubies.
Are you sure? We already took your money when we began the search.
Promise is a promise, my dear. I may not be able to sell off the idol as intended, but we shall all be rewarded.
I'll let that my dear pass this one time.
Take your piece. Keep it, sell it, I don't mind. Use it to make a future for yourselves. She looks closely at the pile and grabs a piece with one of the statue's horns.
Thank you, Xander. I'll treasure it.
And for yourself, Detective? You look up, The hatchling has been sleepily chewing on your finger, and it's hard to look away. What? Please, take a piece of the egg, as payment. You wouldn't have made it this far without your sterling efforts. Of the shell? Of course. Of all of us here, you deserve payment the most. What you choose to do with that much ruby is up to you. You look at the large shards that once made up the Crimson Old One. Wealth seems so immaterial now. Nodding, you reach down and pick up the base of the egg, still holding the dozing hatchling. A most fitting choice, detective. A true prize indeed. Still, I shall not begrudge you the biggest piece. Keeping that child fed will not be cheap if the stories are anything to go by. The shell sits snugly in your arms. It feels even heavier now that you know what it contains. May I have a piece, as a memento? Xander laughs again and gestures at the diminished heap. By all means. Even the getaway driver deserves their payment. Alex scans the pieces carefully and picks up the broken tail. I like this bit. It shall be the source of many future puns. Oh gods, not the puns. The kid is going to be raised with a healthy attitude towards punning, Kari, and you can't stop me. Fragments of the egg still litter the jetty.
What about the rest of the egg? Going to sell it off and recoup your expenses?
Not quite. I have a rather more fitting end for these pieces. They belong to the last member of our crew, who sadly could not be here tonight. Lore? With a strained flourish, Xander sweeps the pile of ruby chunks up in a claw and throws them far into the lake. The soft rain of stones fills the air, the quiet air even, with plink-plink sounds. To Lore, a friend who never got to see the end to this adventure. I shall miss him. He was a bastard, loud, arrogant, drunk most of the time, but I'll miss him all the same. The four of you stand together in a quiet reverie and stare across the lake.
What do we do now?
First, we need to get the hell off this island. I don't know if anyone has noticed, but the museum is still on fire, and I'm guessing the cops won't be far away. I'd rather be gone than explain to Carla Zora why I set fire to the most expensive landmark in the city. We also need to get this hatchling somewhere safe. As for myself, I shall be returning to my opulent den to sleep the sleep of the victorious. As the young lady points out, I am rich in years and need my beauty rest.
What about me?
Once we're home safe, you and I have one last piece of business to attend to, Max.
Oh? Aren't we done?
You tickle the scaled belly in your arm with a claw. A tiny smoke ring escapes the hatchling's mouth. Not for you, Max. There's someone I want you to meet.
Why have you brought me here, Kari? Isn't this where Lore was planning to meet me?
It is. I thought it would be appropriate if we came and had a drink together, in his memory. Speaking of drinks... Almost done, just gotta power through the rest of it. I can't say I got to know Lore very well. He was rude and obnoxious. But he brought us together, and deserved to see us through... Damn it, let me try that again. But he brought us together, and deserved to see it through to the end.
That's fair. He deserved better than he got. I'll drink to his memory this once.
How's the night been, Stainra? All quiet? He shrugs, tail swinging lazily. This is Miss Maxera, a friend. Would you be able to keep her company for a few minutes while I talk to your boss?
Why all the mystery, Kari?
You'll find out soon, I promise.
Okay, but this better be worth it. Stainra, is it? I like your antlers. They're really shiny.
Stainra actually blushes. You laugh and stomp into the near empty bar. I want to see fan art of Stainra. Get on it, internet. Rax is tending bar for a few quiet drinkers, cleaning glasses and moving fluids around the stone countertop with a rag. Flatpaw, it's good to see you again. I must admit I was more than a little worried when you left my joint a bloody mess. Stainra was not happy cleaning all the blood out of the alley. I had to pay him overtime, and he just wouldn't shut up about it. You know how he goes on.
It's good to see you too, Rex. I've missed the smell of this place. Like a chemical refinery that caught fire and sunk into a swamp.
I like to think it has a kind of homely charm to it. You come in for a drink, or are you looking to bother my regulars again?
You toss the necklace over to Rex, who fields it with a pincer. Actually, I've come to settle my tab. He looks down at the pendant sullenly.
Oh, you couldn't find her? Figures. I've lost my chance then, haven't I? Bugger.
Not quite. In fact, I've got someone I'd like you to meet. You poke your head out the door and beckon Max in. Rex, I'd like to introduce you to someone. Max enters the room, at first taking in the dinginess of the bar, before her eyes land on Rex. Rex, meet Maxera. The cup that never seems to leave his hands falls to the floor and smashes behind the bar. I believe you two have a lot to talk about. For the first time since you met him, Rex actually seems speechless. Rex? Is that you?
Yeah, kiddo. It's me. It's been
a long time. It's good to see you again.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I should have been there for you. I never got the chance to say goodbye before, you know. But I wanted to tell you I always loved you. I always will.
Thanks, brother. It's Max now, by the way. Rax nods and slides a can across the bar towards her.
I missed you, Max. All through the war and after. I never stopped looking. There just wasn't anything to go on.
It's a big city. You couldn't have known. That was a different time, and we were different kaiju.
What have you been up to all this time?
She sighs and sits down at the bar. Where do I start? I'll leave you two to it then. Rex, I think this settles us. Max, welcome home. Thanks, Kari. How did you know? Thank Alex. He saw the same symbol on one of your rings as on Rax's pendant. It's not something you see every day. That boy has sharp eyes. Oh. Please thank him for me too.
Thanks, Flatpaw. Come back anytime.
That might take you up on that. I'd say stay safe, but I don't think there's anything you two couldn't overcome working together. You make sure to look after the kid, and try to keep out of trouble.
Wait, what kid?
You've got a lot to catch up on, big brother. So there shouldn't be any problems with the adoption process. I have a friend at City Hall that owes me a favor. Half the city owes you favors, Alex, including me. One day you're going to cash them in and end up owning most of the city. Looking around the room, it's hard not to think about all the ways things have suddenly changed in a few short nights. I never thought I'd end up a brood parent. Can't say it doesn't feel weird. Does it feel right? Yeah, in a way it does. This kid needs a home. We can be that. Can't be worse than our brood parents. We can give the kid something better. We can't keep calling them the kid. They need a name. Well, I've never named a hatchling before. Heck, I wasn't even allowed a puppy. You look down at the hatchling, sleeping soundly on the couch. They're wrapped in the remnants of your old coat, curled up inside the broken ruby shell. How about Crimson? Not a very original name, I know, but I think it suits them. Crimson lets out a little burp of flame as they dream away in their little nest. I like it. That's a good name to grow into. A good name for our little monster. I've never had to care for another life form before. That's a weird way to put it. What happens if I fuck up, Alex? Then you'll learn from it. Fucking up is part of the process. Xander said they would send us anything they could dig up on Old One life cycles. Seems to think this little hatchling is gonna get big. How is the fossil?
Can't imagine they're getting around easy after the fight. They seem to be getting on fine with a couple of canes. Apparently it'll be about a decade before the tentacles grow back. There's also a message from Carla. Something about wanting some quiet time together to discuss a mysterious fire. Shit, she's gonna ask so many awkward questions. Just tell her the truth, Kari. She'll figure things out on her own soon enough anyway. Oh, and Rex sent over a crate of Monster Mash. Said something about not liking debts to go unpaid. That boy's a real soft heart under all that hard shell. How do you think he and Maxra are getting along? One day at a time, like the rest of us. She came through for us in the end. I'm proud of her, and I'm glad she has someone like Rax in her life again. Those two have a couple of lifetimes to catch up on. That's going to take time. From their little nest, Crimson makes little mewling noises in their sleep. In their face, you can see a future. An uncertain one, but a future all the same. I wonder how the humans will react when they see a brand new old one climbing out of the earth. They're in for a hell of a surprise, though that might not be for hundreds of years. No one knows how long old ones take to mature. Maybe they will have learned better by then. Maybe we can teach Crimson better. You and me, Kari. We'll be there for them. From the door comes an urgent knocking in a strained voice. Excuse me, are you open? I need help and I didn't know where else to go. What do you think? Are we open for a fresh case? I don't know. What does it say on the door? It says Detective Karibara, private investigator. I finally got the graffiti off. You've solved 2 cases this week, adopted a hatchling that may one day crush cities, and ruined your favorite coat. To say it's been a long week would be an understatement. What the hell? I'm feeling helpful tonight. Show them in. And put the kettle on, Alex. I have a feeling it's going to be another long night. Oh, it's so cute. I love this image. It's very good. Whether or not I will use it for the thumbnail remains to be seen, because it's kind of a spoiler, but... Anyway, there's a little bit more. Thanks for playing Kaiju Noir. We hope you've enjoyed this monstrous visual novel. I have, and I hope you have too. Before we go, we have a few messages to leave you with. Consider them a not-so-subtle rehashing of what the story has been all about. Trans rights are worth fighting for. It's never too late to be who you really are. Take that from me. That is 100% true. Fuck TERFs. If you've got trans family or friends, be there for them. It can be a real scary world for them. Thanks, bro. I missed you. Family are the people who care about you, not necessarily the ones that raised you. All cops are bastards. Abolish police states, end prisons, build something better through community support. Wait, aren't you still a cop? For now I am, so I know what I'm talking about. Eat the rich. They're a great source of protein and wealth for redistribution. Stomp some fascists if you get a chance. It's fun, it makes the world a better place. A lot of us carry a kaiju crapload of trauma through our lives. Give yourself permission to deal with it at your own pace. We all have our ways to cope with the rough times. Best thing we can do is be there for each other. Seek professional assistance to help deal with problems in your life if you can. Memories are worth more than shiny stones. Chase the things most important in your life. When did this become a group therapy session? Shut up, Kari. Therapy helps a lot of folks. No judgment here. Where were we up to? Thanking the folks who made this all happen. Thank you, Luis Abadius, who gave us our monstrous forms. Abadius? One of those. I'm so sorry. Thanks to Keytar Bard for the rocking soundtrack. Thanks to the other wonderful artists that contributed to the game, and to our awesome testers. Damn right. Of course, thank you all for playing, supporting the game, and all your encouragement. This was a big project, and y'all made it happen. If you feel up for it, maybe give the game another play. Who knows what you might learn about our world? Enough, perhaps, for a sequel? That depends how well this one sells. Gotta keep the artists fed. Until next time, stay safe.
Look after yourselves.
And each other. You are not alone. I'll see y'all in the next series.